There we go. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday afternoon. And I hope you're having a good weekend. My name is Debbie, and I'm here to talk to you about food storage solutions, and in particular, food storage solutions where you don't throw out the bag or the product after you use it. So in other words, ones that can be reused, ones that can be washed and used multiple times. And why do I want to talk about this? Because we're in a plastic waste crisis, and there is a lot of plastic waste that is going to landfill. Some of it is plastic that can be recycled, but not all of it gets recycled. And some of it is plastic that can't get recycled. And unfortunately, sometimes on the way to landfill or on the way to being moved around the world, it also ends up in our oceans. So we're in a huge plastic waste crisis. And if you want to know more about that, then you can watch a video that I have done on our plastic waste crisis. And I will put a link to that video description in the video description below. So it's an exciting topic. We're getting the less exciting stuff talked about in the beginning, and it's going to get more interesting as we go on. And now, so that's the first part of it. Is I wanted to talk to you about ways to change from using disposable plastic to store your food to other products that are out there. And one of the key products that is out there is silicone. Now, I also did a video on silicone and is it environmentally friendly or not? How is it made? Can it be recycled? Is it good for food? And so if you want to know more about silicone and how it's made, then watch that video. I will also put a link to that video in the video description below. However, I did want to say just one thing. So silicone is inert, so it's not going to react with the food, especially medical grade and food grade silicone. So there's not going to be any kind of chemical transfer between the silicone and the food. And silicone can be recycled as well. And silicone is actually made from silica, which is just a naturally occurring element. The problem with silicone is that it takes furnaces with very high heat that burn on fossil fuels to create silicone. So that part's not environmentally friendly. But anyway, if you want to know more about silicone, watch the video. So now let's get to the real content of today. So the first thing I wanted to do was to show you some food storage tests that I have done with plastic and with some other washable and reusable storage solutions, food storage containers. So let's take a look at this. So what I did was I took a bunch of different foods and I put them in different kinds of containers. And then every day I checked them and I looked at how long they lasted in that particular container before the food was no longer good to eat. And this is the silicone versus plastic part. So let's get started. So plastic, first of all, for cucumbers, we had a poly bag or a PEVA bag actually, and I will get to that later. I will show you one. And we had a plastic Ziploc bag. So the plastic Ziploc bag, the cucumber was good for 12 days, which is pretty good for cucumber, in the fridge, of course. And in the poly bag, only 5 days, the PEVA bag, sorry. So now let's look at romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce does not have a long storage life. So in the PEVA bag and silicone, this stasher bag is a kind of silicone bag. In the Freshworks, which is a box that I will show you, and then the green box and the green bag, it was 7 or 9 days. However, in the plastic Ziploc bag, it was 5 days. So that's what this column here means down the side. Tells you who the winner is. So in this first case, plastic is the winner, but in this case, it was the non-plastic storage solutions that were the winner. Now here, let's go look at strawberries. Strawberries also do not have a very long shelf life in the fridge. PEVA bag, 7 days. Silicone bag, 15 days. The green bag, 9 days. And plastic, 5 days. So once again, the non-plastic solutions won. Now let's look at blueberries. Once again, they don't have a long shelf life. In the PEVA bag, 12, silicone 12, and plastic 12. So here they all had the same result. So this was a tie. Now let's look at zucchini. Zucchini has a relatively long shelf life in the fridge, but depending on how you store it, it can be even longer. So in the PEVA bag, at 15 days. Okay, 15 days. In the fresh works, it was 9 days, and in the plastic, it was 7 days. So here we see once again, plastic was not your best storage solution for zucchini. The non-plastic ones performed better. Let's look at green beans. The PEVA bag, 15. Plastic, 12. That's pretty good. The fresh works, 9. The green box and the green bag, 7. So plastic didn't win, but plastic did perform better than some of the other reusable options. Now let's look at bell peppers. So in the PEVA bag, at 15 days, the bell pepper was still good. And same for the silicone, but in the plastic, the bell pepper was no longer good after 7 days. And strawberries, PEVA bag, we got 12 days of shelf life. Silicone, we got 9, and plastic, we got 5. So you can see that so far, according to this page of information, most of the time, the non-plastic, non-disposable plastic storage solutions give you better performance at storing food. I have a few more results to share with you. So now let's look at bread. So in the PEVA bag, the bread was 5, and in the silicone, it was 7, and in the plastic, it was 5. So in this case, the non-plastic or the silicone performed better. For lemons, in the PEVA bag, at 15 days, the lemons were still good, and in the silicone bag, same thing, they were still good. And in the plastic bag, the lemons at 5 days were no longer good. Onions, they were still, this would be chopped onions or cut sliced onions. In the PEVA bag at 15 days and the silicone bag, 15 days, it was still good. In the plastic, at 15 days, the onion was no longer good, but it lasted until 15 days. So that result was very close, but still, the onion in the PEVA and silicone bag looks perfect, while in the plastic bag, mold was starting. And then here for celery, we have 15 days for the PEVA and the silicone bag, but in the plastic bag, the celery still looked really good. So overall, the non-plastic storage solutions have a better performance than the plastic. So that's a second reason why you want to switch to reusable, washable storage solutions for your food, and get the disposable Ziploc or disposable plastic bags, the plastic grocery bags, and the plastic wrap. Get that out of your kitchen, because the options I'm going to show you actually will give you better storage time. They will keep your produce and your other food products fresher and safer for a longer period of time, and you're going to be helping the environment. Now, you will have to make an investment into these products. So initially, they appear more expensive, but if you consider the fact that you'll be using these products for years, and you have to keep buying Ziploc bags over the long term, they will also save you money. So that was the result of my storage test. Now, let's take a look at some of these products. So here I have, the first product I wanted to show you is the Debbie Meyer green bags. So it's a green bag like this. It's a plastic bag. And let me, it comes in a package of 20 bags of different sizes, 3 different sizes. You put your produce inside. You can rinse them. You can reuse them. Let me go find the information for that. I will share my screen with you, and we will go find that information. So these bags, they're BPA free, they're food grade plastic, and on my box that I got with the bags, it says they can be used up to 200 times. However, on the Amazon website, it said 10 times. But I'm going to believe the packaging that comes from the manufacturer. I find that they're very good for storing leafy greens and celery. So I have been using all of these products I'm going to show you for 7 months now. So I have good experience with them now. Now, what you do is you rinse this bag and you let it dry. You don't use soap. For under $30, you get 40 bags. And they are supposed to be able to be recycled once you find that you can no longer wash them or they're not clean. So that is the first storage solution that works really well for produce, I find. Excuse me, I've got allergies. So let's go look at the second one. Now, these are made by the same lady, Debbie Meyer. They're green boxes. You get a set of 16 containers of 4 sizes, and it has a snap lid. These are also made of food-grade BPA-free polypropylene, and they can be reused many, many, many times. Forget about the 200 or 10 times that you see on the screen. That's a typo. These are also microwave and dishwasher safe. You can use them for fruits, vegetables, produce, bread, muffins, anything you want. They're not intended for food storage. They're more for storing food at room temperature or in the fridge. And I find they're very good for storing vegetables. So that's what I use them for. And since they can go in the dishwasher, I love that part. So if you have any questions at some point, just post them in the comments below and I will answer them. And I just thought I'd take a minute to tell you about my YouTube channel. So I have a YouTube channel called Debbie Esplin, and I also have a Facebook page called Kitchen Sense and Information. And excuse me, I just had to do something, but it didn't work. I'm just doing one thing, sorry. And in my YouTube channel, it's about food, kitchen, and home. So that includes recipes and cooking and all about food, which is partly what we're doing, kitchen and home, to make your kitchen safer, your food safer, your home safer, and more enjoyable and more productive. So now let's go on to another storage solution that I have. This is the Rubbermaid Freshworks, and I'm going to show you first my actual container that I use. And when I do my vegetable prep, I put my vegetables in here. You see, I did this prep a week ago, and they still look very, very, very fresh. So I find that these Rubbermaid Freshworks, they're really good for storing cut vegetables, because what I like to do is when I get my vegetables, I like to chop them up and prepare them so that I have them for a few days and I'm not having to chop them every single time. And the Freshworks, they're great for that. So what you get with the Freshworks box is you get the box. This is one of the smaller ones. You get this little platform that sits on top so that it keeps the food off of the bottom where water might collect. And then you have the lid, which has a vent system, which is supposed to moderate the transfer of gases and control the moisture inside so that your food doesn't mold as quickly. And that's what I find. It stays very fresh and it doesn't mold. So that is a very good product. I'm going to share my screen on this with you. So for less than $25, you get 3 containers. Now, they claim that you can get 80% longer shelf life. I found that when I stored lettuce and leafy greens in the Freshworks, they didn't really store a lot longer than if they were just in a plastic bag. However, I found for the cut vegetables, the storage is like 3 to 4 weeks. I put cut cabbage in my Freshworks container a few weeks ago, and it was good until 4.5 weeks. So that's pretty amazing. And they are dishwasher safe, and they can be recycled as well. So that makes them very convenient. And now let's move to the next product, which are PEVA bags. Oh, going too fast here. So where's my PEVA bag? So this is a PEVA bag. They come in different sizes. So what is PEVA? It is polyethylene vinyl chloride. It's a kind of plastic, but it's way less toxic than PVC. And it's considered safe for food storage. The FDA and the Canadian government have approved PEVA for use in food storage as long as it's food grade PEVA and BPA free. However, there are some people that say that it is not safe, and there are some people that say that it is. And I will do more research on that at some point in the future and do a video just on PEVA. But for now, I'm just going to show it to you. One of the advantages is that it's less expensive. So for less than $20, you get 12 bags of 3 different sizes. It also has a Ziploc, which is very convenient. And so far, my PEVA has done an excellent job of storing food. And this is much better than disposable plastic because this is not going to hurt the environment in the same way. However, these bags are really only for food storage because they do not tolerate high heat, microwaving, cooking, or the dishwasher. But for food storage, they are great. For now, I leave it up to you to do your research to decide if you want to bring PEVA bags into your house or not. I consider them safe, but you have to make your own decision about that. So now let's go look at the next one. This is my favorite. We're going to get to some exciting stuff here. Silicone food storage. Now, like I said, I have been using these bags for 7 months, and I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. I am totally in love with silicone. It works so well. It is so good at keeping food fresh, especially in the freezer. I put food in my silicone bags and there is no freezer burn. So I'm really, really, really impressed with the performance of the silicone, and I love it. And since I got these silicone bags, I haven't been using any plastic bags. So here we have one kind of silicone bag. This is a Ziploc silicone, and they come in different sizes. So that's one kind. Then here's another kind, which it has a wider bottom, so you can fill it quite full. It's supposed to hold 4 cups, 1,000 liters, 1,000 mLs, I mean, and it has measurements on the side. And then what you do to close it is you put this plastic thing on, and it closes. It's leak proof. They're all leak proof, actually. And if you go to see my silicone video, I do a test to show you that it's leak proof. So this bag is great, and it can hold a fair amount of product. The only thing I don't like about this bag is once it's been in the freezer and you take it out and you're trying to get this plastic slider off because everything is frozen, it's a struggle. Now, when I bought these bags, it came with a little silicone gripper. And I was like, oh, I got an extra gripper. That's so nice of them to send me an extra gripper that I didn't pay for. And then when I pulled the bag out of the freezer and I was trying to get this slider off, I realized why they sent me the gripper. So it's great. This bag can go in the dishwasher. Where'd my other silicone bag go? This silicone bag cannot go in the dishwasher, and it's because of the zipper. The zipper could be damaged by the hot water of the dishwasher. So that's one disadvantage to this one. But this one is so light and it performs so well, and the zipper closure is really convenient. So I like it. This one can go in the zipper. This one can go in the fridge, and it can go in the microwave and the oven, and it can go in the freezer. It has a high temperature tolerance. So this is a very interesting product. Now here we have what are called stasher bags. Stasher is the manufacturer, and they make all kinds of sizes and types of bags. So for example, this one has a big wide bottom. It will stand up. This one is narrower and taller. They both have this zip push closure. And stasher bags are very nice because they can be used for oven cooking, sous vide cooking, hot water boiling, microwave cooking, freezing, storing foods in the fridge, storing foods on the counter. You can use them as a lunchbox. So they are a really great product. They can go in the dishwasher, and I love my stasher bags. And they also come with a guarantee from the manufacturer that if at the end of the lifespan you can't find a place to recycle them, you can recycle them with the manufacturer. So they are a very great product. Now this is another kind of silicone bag. This is called the Visli. And as you can see also, it will stand up on its own. It also has these handles to hold it with. And what's interesting about this one is the closure. You see, you close it, oops, and then you have these clips. And once you put the clips in place, it's also leak proof, just like the other ones. And it also has the measurements here. And it holds up to 1 liter, 4 cups. So I really like this one. This one is a little more expensive. It's you get 3 bags for between $30 and $40, if I remember correctly. But it's very, very convenient, and I love it for a lot of things. So I am totally in love with silicone, and I have one last kind of silicone container to show you. So this is silicone, and you see, you can open it up. It's a set of 3. It comes with a snap lock lid, and what's very interesting about this, other than the fact that you can change the size of your container, and also for storage, it takes absolutely no room to store, but it also has a lid where you can vent, so you can put your food in, you can close the lid, and then you can kind of push from the bottom and then push this, and you can vent out all the air, so you can get rid of all the air, which is really good for storing things in the freezer, because air is your enemy in terms of preserving the quality of your food. Air is your number one enemy. Freezer burn is caused by air. Deterioration is caused by either air or temperature fluctuations in the freezer. So that's why the more you can not have your frozen food in contact with air, the longer it's going to last. So now let's see, what else have I got on my screen to show you? Because I know there's more. Let's go see. So here, silicone bags, I believe I said this, but let's say it again. So they're inert, so there's going to be no chemical leaching. And when you buy silicone food storage bags, you do want to buy medical and or food grade bags. And you want them to be BPA free. Now, silicone will be a little more expensive than your PEVA. However, you are getting a product that is very safe and extremely durable and very useful, because most silicone products can go into any kind of hot environment and any kind of cold environment. However, one thing that it is important is that you respect the temperature range of the product you buy, because some silicone manufacturers will have a larger temperature range, some will have a shorter temperature range. And you also need to check, can it be put in the oven or not? Can it be used for sous vide cooking or not? Because not all silicone bags can be put in the oven and be used for sous vide cooking. But in my experience, all the silicone bags I've seen can at least be used to boil in a boiling water and in the microwave, and of course in the freezer and the fridge, and they can all go in the dishwasher unless they have the zipper, like I said. So it's a really remarkable product, and I feel like it's changed my life. Without silicone food storage bags, I would not have been able to stop using my plastic, because the PEVA only comes in certain range of sizes, and it doesn't go in the dishwasher, so it's less convenient. And the boxes, you know, they're not great for freezing. So really, I find silicone has changed my life, and I would encourage you to try it out. Now, there are some other non-disposable options. For example, we have glass containers. Let me just get the lid. So you can go for glass containers with the snap lid. They're also very good, and they are usually made of Duraglass, which means if you drop it, it generally won't break. It can go in the oven, it can go in the microwave, it can go in the freezer, and it can go in the dishwasher. So yes, glass is a little more expensive, but glass is also inert. There will be no chemical leaching, and it's a great way to store your food. Excuse me while I reach. I don't have a big enough table to have all this stuff close by. And so another type of container is just a plastic container with your lock lid. It's leak proof. At the end of its life, it can be recycled, but I've got plastic containers like this I've been using for 30 years, and I'm still using them. So there's no reason why you will not get a very, very, very long life out of regular plastic containers like this. You just want to make sure that they are dishwasher safe and that they are freezer safe and microwave safe. You wouldn't want to put this in the oven, however. Now here is another kind of plastic container that I really love. This is a set from Rubbermaid, and it has a snap lid that comes with a bunch of different sizes. And once again, you can either vent or you can close the vent. So for example, if you put your lunch in here and then you want to heat it in the microwave, and let's say your lunch is frozen and you're struggling to get the lid off, well, you don't need to worry. You just push the vent, and now any gases are going to vent out. But when you're going to freeze it, you close the vent. And these lids are so easy to get on and off. They're totally leak proof. They're microwave safe, dishwasher safe, and they're stackable in your cupboard. So I find these guys are really good. I use them for soup. I will generally put soup into these kind of storage containers. I don't generally put soup in the silicone bags. Not that I couldn't. It's just that I have enough of these kind of containers, and soup works really well to freeze in these containers. So that's what I do for. I have another one to show you also. Yes, here we go. So this is another kind of product. So this is it's like a Ziploc bag, but it has a zipper. So on the outside, it has some pretty fabric, and there's all different designs you can get, and you can get different sizes as well. Inside, it's got a plastic coating, and you wash it. So this is really good for your lunch sandwiches, your snacks, for your lunch bag. So this is a good product to use for lunches instead of putting them in Ziploc bags. And this will keep your food fresh for a day or two, no problem. I wouldn't store food in this bag for a long time. I did try that out, and I found that it really didn't work that well. So it's not a storage bag, it is a lunch bag. It is to take your food with you and just keep it, separate from the other food and safe and clean for a few hours. But this is a great option for your lunch so that you're not using Ziploc bags for your lunch. Another thing I do is, so as you can tell from what I've said so far, I put a lot of food into containers and I store it. And if you don't write down what's inside, believe me, once it gets a little bit of those freezer crystals on the outside of it, you will have no clue what's in there. So you need to label and date everything that goes in your freezer. But labeling and dating everything is a pain in the butt. So here I have all of these old Ziploc bags. I wouldn't use them for food because they're not clean inside, but they're fine to use them around a container. And as you can see, I write what's on it, and then I cross it out, and I let it dry, and then I use it again, and I write what's on it, and I cross it out. And so that's one way that I label my containers so that I know what's in there. And I'll keep using these bags until they fall apart. So that's another way that I'm trying to just use what I've got. And finally, another thing that I do is my aluminum foil. If it's not too dirty, I will wash it, I will dry it, fold it, and reuse it. And I will keep doing that until it's too dirty or it's too ripped and I can no longer use it. So those are ways that you can reduce your use of disposable plastic, and also reduce your use of aluminum foil, make it last longer. And I have a little, so let me know if you're finding this content valuable so far. If you think it might help you, then click the like button and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And share this video, share it with your friends. I would really like for us to be able to try to reduce the amount of plastic that goes to landfill. It is getting to a critical point. So I do have a little bit more information to share with you, and I thank you for watching, and all of you who are going to watch in the stream afterwards. So I wanted to tell you the products that I really like. So the green bags, I find they're really good for storing leafy greens. And actually what I do is when I go to the grocery store, I bring my net bags and I put my produce and all my fruits and vegetables in this washable, reusable net bag. Then if it's lettuce or parsley or kale, I then put the net bag inside the green bag. And I find that it stays a lot longer that way. I have parsley in my fridge now stored that way in a net bag than in a green bag that I've had for 2 weeks, and it's still fine. So the PEVA and the silicone bags, they are great for freezing food. They're good for food storage in the fridge as well, but I really like them for freezing food. And of all of the silicone bags, the Stasher and the Wisely. The Wisely is the one with the clips. Those are my favorites. Now I have to show you this because this is just totally cool. So look at this. Any idea what this silly little floppy? And it's even got a happy face on it, you know? How silly is that, right? So there's 6 different sizes. We've got 4 sizes here, and I will show you 2 more sizes. What do you think these are for? They're silicone stretch lids. And you put them on your bowls or your containers or your cans. You open a can of tuna fish and you haven't eaten the whole can of tuna fish and you're not putting it into another container. You can just put this stretch lid on. They are great. And if you have these lids, you will no longer need to use plastic wrap. So I haven't used plastic wrap in months because I use these lids. And they come in a package of 12. So you get 2 sets of the 6 sizes. They are great. Now, this is a little bit off the topic, but I'm going to say it anyway. So if you open a can of tuna fish or anything, really, if you're going to use it, the rest of the food within 24 hours, it's okay to store it in the can. Just make sure that you have some kind of airtight closure on top like this little silicone lid. And look how small it is once I take it off. Like they really stretch. And they're easy to wash. However, if you're going to maybe not use your tuna fish or soup or whatever it is in the can after 20, if you're going to use it, if it's going to stay in the fridge longer than 24 hours, you should put it in a container because it's not really a good idea to store canned goods in the can for more than 24 hours. So that's my bonus tip for you today on the topic of food safety. And here we go. So here we have the summary of everything we just went through. And then for the chopped vegetables, yes, these Freshworks boxes are the best. And you know, you don't need to buy all this stuff all at once. Like I took several months to slowly build up this inventory. I started in June and I'd say by October. So, you know, every month I'd buy a little bit more, buy a little bit more. And so you can just go ahead and just buy as you're able to, as you can afford. But, you know, every time you can get an extra $20, $30, invest in these non-disposable, washable, reusable storage solutions. And it will help you in the long run, and it will help the environment. Hi, I see we've got somebody. Hello, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, put them into the comments and I'll answer your questions. And let me share my screen again, and let's just see what we have on the next topic. Here we go. So lunch boxes. So lunch boxes is another area where people very often just go for disposable plastic, Ziploc bags, or other kinds of plastic bags. Because, I mean, plastic is so convenient, right? I can't deny that, and I loved my plastic until I found these other products, and until I really decided I have to stop using disposable plastic in my kitchen. Now, for a number of years, I've used a lunchbox that, was kind of a zipper thing, and it had a hard interior, and it was insulated, and it was great. So I'd carry my lunch in my lunchbox, but inside my lunchbox, I was using Ziploc bags. But getting yourself a lunchbox is a good thing, because at least now you're getting rid of the big Ziploc bag that you might use to carry your lunch, or you can use a stasher bag to carry your lunch. Bento boxes, you can buy bento boxes. I don't have one to show you, but they're also very convenient. There's many different kinds out there. Basically, it's just like a hard shell lunchbox, and they have little divisions inside of different sizes. Paper bags. Paper bags make a great lunchbox, and when I was a kid, that's what we used. And also, these net bags, believe it or not, these net bags are convenient for so many things besides your fruits and vegetables and produce in the grocery store. You can use these as a lunchbox. I do that a lot. I also use them to store all kinds of stuff around the house, including toys and crayons. And my daughter uses them to store the dirty masks and the clean masks. She's got 2 net bags of different colors, and one net bag is the dirty mask and one net bag is the clean mask. So they're very useful. They're inexpensive. They're washable and they're durable. So that's another option for you. And then when you're shopping, use the net bags. Get a few and bring them with you. I put them in my main shopping bag, and that way I always have them. And if you can, try to use reusable shopping bags, because really, plastic shopping bags, we have so many of them, and they're just blowing around the environment, and they're going to landfill, and they're escaping from landfill, and it's a huge problem. So as much as you can stop using plastic shopping bags, it would be really helpful to the environment and to future generations. And so that was what I wanted to share with you today. And I will be doing more information on the PEVA bag, like I said, down the road. But in the meantime, I will be doing more recipes for you and more solutions for the kitchen and the home. And I want to thank everybody for watching. I thank everybody who's going to watch this later on. And I really appreciate you being here to support me. And once again, I just want to say, if you found value in this content, then click the like button and subscribe and share. And if you're on Facebook, leave me a comment and share this video. And I want to thank everybody for your support. I want to thank everybody who watches. Have a good day, and I will see you at the next video. I hope. Okay, everybody. Bye.